Peace, peace. This is Solomon, aka hip hop activist. Just wanted to take a little bit of time to deconstruct and put into context what the wretched United States corporate media um, often fails to do in regard to a number of things. And in this case, including foreign policy that the United States has played a nefarious role for decades and decades now. Obviously throughout the entire globe. And that was I want to talk about last week's meeting, the recent meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine. Two things can be right in this instance, right? Shouldn't lose track of the fact that yes, Donald Trump is a neo-fascist, uh, white supremacist, nationalist. He has made no bones about it. I mean, this is an individual who has historically, going back to his first presidency, should not lose track of the fact that he referred to many countries in the global South, especially countries that are occupied by black and brown people as shithole countries. We understand this, but on the other token, or on the other side of the coin, if we want to use that term, Donald Trump is right when he met with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, saying that he's gambling, that he was gambling, he and Biden were gambling with a potential World War III, right? To give a broader context, it was the United States in 2013, 2014, under the Obama administration, with Victoria Nuland, who's part of his administration, that orchestrated, used the United States machinations and apparatus such as the CIA and State Department to create a coup that would overthrow um, Viktor Yanukovych, who at that time was the leader of Ukraine. Viktor Yanukovych, who was trying to, have more diplomatic relations with Russia and Putin, and who wouldn't want that, right? If we're trying to avert war, whether it's a large scale war or a regional war, or God forbid a nuclear war, um, diplomatic relations, diplomacy has to go somewhere, has to be a part of that, right? And so the United States overthrew the same thing that the United States tries to puff its chest out and act like it's the police of the world, the global police, where in fact the United States, for decades and decades now, going all the way back to the inception of the CIA when it was the OSS, um, and later on became the CIA. The United States government, overthrew the populist government of Dr. Mohammad Mossadegh in 1953 in Iran, and then a year later, Jacobo Arbenz in Guatemala. We can go on and on and on. Even 9/11, 1973 in Chile with Salvador Allende, which ushered in and the United States propped up the brutal dictator Augusto Pinochet, who was responsible for murdering and assassinating tens and tens of thousands of Chileans. We can go on and on and on. The United States has a long reputation of this, has a long reputation of being, a serial killer, right? If we think about Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, or Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street, and they kill a massive amount of people in those hour and a half to 2 hour movies. Why did we look at the United States government any differently when they use bombs to take out large swaths of human beings, when they go in unilaterally and bomb countries, or even go into countries and upend these countries by way of brutal foreign policy, by destabilizing those countries and taking out leaders, simply elected leaders, simply because they don't like them, right? So the United States in 2014, under the Obama administration, provoked, right? They're the ones, right? They talk about that Russia was unprovoked in this. No, the United States, everybody in the world that had their eyes and minds on the pulse of this foreign policy know this is true. It cannot be argued. I guess it could, some people could argue it, but they'd be wrong. But the United States overthrew Viktor Yanukovych, and then it ushered in, right? It ushered in this cavalcade of right-wing neo-Nazi supporting leaders within Ukraine, and all these different offshoots, right sector, Svoboda, these neo-Nazi organizations that created this infestation of neo-Nazi groups within Ukraine. And so all of this could have definitely been averted. The United States didn't want peace between Russia and Ukraine, didn't want peace. And so the U.S. media, the corporate media, doesn't talk about this, especially the likes of MSNBC, CNN, and yes, and Fox News as well. Fox News might be say a little bit about now because they're right, they're right wing conservative leaning with Republicans and so forth, and obviously MSNBC and CNN, they're very much Democratic party sycophants. But the U.S. corporate media seldom, if anywhere, talked about this context, the context that of the United States and the role the United States played in terms of poking Russia and provoking Russia, in this catastrophic situation that we see right now in that part of the world, in Ukraine and Russia right now, where hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of people have perished. And the other thing that should be mentioned is to put into context, to think for a second how hypocritical it is for the United States and those that are pushing for this war. And that includes, as I've said before, the Democrats have been pushing hard for this war, have been pushing hard. The very few Democratic elected leaders have been speaking about peace in any shape, form, or fashion, or diplomacy. They've been taking hard lines. They've been using very bellicose language towards Vladimir Putin and Russia in general. And but just to think about it, all right. Putin years ago did not want the United States to push NATO on its borders, to encroach upon its borders. And it was agreed upon that would not be done. The United States has gone ahead and continues to push NATO, to try to push NATO closer and closer to the border of Russia. And just to think for a second, what do you think would happen? What does anyone think would happen if the United States, right? If Russia or China were on the precipice of setting up military installments, right? Military installments and proxy installments on the border, on United States's manufactured borders in Canada and Mexico. What do we think would happen? I mean, all we have to do is think back to the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? That almost started a world war, right? That almost started a world war. That would have likely led to nuclear weapons being used, right? And we should all be pushing for diplomacy, because if the United States and Russia get into some type of conflict and nuclear weapons are being used, that's, we can think about the planet being ended as we know it. Biden and Harris, the Biden and Harris administration, they were not talking diplomacy. They were really pushing the envelope further and further forward towards a really hot war, right? A really hot war. And it's just strange to say that that the words diplomacy are coming out of the Trump administration. But what do you think the United States would do? I mean, they wouldn't be having it. They would not be having it. But the United States wants to go and provoke things by pushing this NATO agenda closer and closer to Russia's borders. So that's extremely important to keep that in context. Keep that in context. every time that you hear these disingenuous, liberals, and I want to say this, just kind of end this, back at the end of February was the anniversary, further anniversary of the assassination of El Haj Malik, El Shabazz, otherwise known as Malcolm X. And at one time when Malcolm X was alive, right, he referred to white liberals slash Democrats as that the white liberal is is the worst enemy to America and the worst enemy to the black man, right? He referenced and said that the white liberal is the worst enemy to America and the worst enemy to the black man. Tell me what has changed. What has changed, um, in 2025? And I say that, even amidst these right-wing and draconian and neo-fascist attacks that the Trump administration, are having on, attacking, the teachings of Black culture and indigenous people's culture and Chicano culture and so forth. But Black people, many Black people in the United States of America see the Democrats and see white liberals as their friends. Um, and they don't see them as the same wolves that they see the Republicans, but they see the Democrats, as Malcolm referred to, as they don't see them at all. They're because they're wearing sheep's clothing, but underneath that clothing, they are wolves. Keep this in mind. But it's also important. It is also important, very much also important, to point out the lack of context, the purposeful lack of context, and the role that the Democratic Party plays in this. The Democratic Party, often seen as this benevolent party, they're not. They're the furthest thing from it. They provoke wars and they cheerlead wars that as long as they're elected leaders, as long as there's a Democrat in office, they don't push back on, they don't push back on it. They support their own. They push these wars. The corporate media pushes these wars, especially the MSNBC, CNNs, as I said before. There's no context whatsoever. And so I'm providing this context. And there's a lot of other independent media and podcasts that have done a wonderful job putting this out. And I hope more and more people exit their attention and kind of this obsequious devotion to U.S. corporate media, as if if anything, the United States corporate media creates way more confusion by the way of trying to get people indoctrinated to buy into a lot of nefarious things that the United States government has done historically. It should also be mentioned. It should also be mentioned the kind of the energy that Donald Trump and JD Vance had, right? And I think that they were, there was a lot of they were not wrong in pressing Vladimir Zelensky the way they did. All right, they pressed him in ways that they should have pressed Benjamin Netanyahu for that matter. It would have been nice if they had the same energy that they had with Vladimir Zelensky, if they had that same energy with Benjamin Netanyahu, not Netanyahu, because all we got to do is look over to Palestine, right? Gaza. And we're talking about an absolute genocide, an absolute genocide. And very rarely has the Palestinian side and the context been spoken about. That things did not start October 7th. Things very much started decades ago, 76 years ago, when after the Balfour Declaration, masses and masses of Palestinians were pushed off their land and quartered into places like what's now known as the Gaza Strip and West Bank and parts of East Jerusalem and so forth. But the United States continues, and Trump, under his first administration, folks, he gave billions of dollars and billions of dollars of weaponry and munitions and artillery, military, military grade obviously military weapons and so forth that were subsequently used against Palestinians, just like Obama did, just like Biden did. It goes on and on and on. So two things and three things and four things can be right, right? Trump and JD Vance, I got no problem with them pressing Zelensky the way they did, right? Zelensky is very, very much unilateral in how he thinks. He's not talking about a range of things. He's not talking about how ethnic Russians were attacked and killed off in large numbers for years and years now in the eastern part of Ukraine and places like Donbass. All right, so they were right to say, hey, no more. There needs to be diplomacy. There needs to be diplomacy. I think JD Vance mentioned that a few times, talked about diplomacy. Trump was right when he talked about the fact that this thing was hurtling towards a potential World War III, and that they're not going to continue to support Zelensky and providing billions and billions of dollars. They talked about the $300+ billion that were provided to Ukraine in weaponry. They were right in that, but also it should be said that Trump didn't say those same things to Netanyahu, and he very much looked like a sycophant to Netanyahu. He didn't use that strong language towards Netanyahu, and that strong language should have also been used towards Netanyahu. But what did Trump say? He said at one point, right, the United States is going to go there and they're going to take over. They're going to take over. I mean, come on, if that's not imperialist sounding, I don't know what is. It's going to go in there and take over the Gaza Strip and turn it into some type of, Riviera, right? That is beyond reprehensible, beyond reprehensible. So those of you that, that are cheerleading Trump for pressing Volodymyr Zelensky, you should also criticize him for not pressing Netanyahu. Because if he continues to finance Netanyahu, those munitions are going to continue to be used against Palestinians writ large, and they're going to continue to maim and take and kill thousands upon thousands, of tens and thousands and hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, innocent Palestinians, men, women, children, right, who have already been killed in hundreds of thousands as this video is being made right now. All right. And so that needs to be stopped. And Palestinians need to have their complete 100% liberation, self-determination and liberation. And those areas need to cease from being occupied. Anything less is quite frankly unacceptable. So we'll have much more about this, but it is all this information. If it is new to anyone watching this, please share the video and please do your research and get the information out there. Support organizations that are for real peace, because you cannot be anti-war, not pro-peace. You can't be pro-peace and not be anti-war. You have to also be anti-imperialism. So until next time, I'm Solomon Kamajan. You've been otherwise known as the hip hop activist. I hope you continue to support this channel and support Your World News. Please like and subscribe and pass the information along, and also support other independent media outlets that are putting news and information and vastly needed perspectives and context out there that, quite frankly, the corporate media has seldom done and will probably never, ever do. They operate like the fourth branch of government. And, it's up to us to educate ourselves so that we can better be mobilized and better organized for a much brighter future, not just for us, but those that are unborn, and end imperialism as we know it. Thank you. Until next time, peace.